Echoes of Ukraine is here today at the Wallace Galleries in Calgary, Alberta, to showcase Peter Shostak's newest exhibit called Prairie Born, a collection which focuses on the changing of the seasons and their effect on the people and the landscapes. Panie Shostak, witamy was na programu Hominy Ukrainy.
Добре, дякую.
I'm interested, perhaps we can start with a detailed description of this latest collection of yours.
Okay, the paintings that we have on display today are really a combination of oils, which is what I'm famous for, but I also brought a number of watercolors, and I haven't really done any watercolors for about a year and a half, but this summer I thought, okay, I'm ready to mentally switch to watercolors as well as equipment-wise and everything else. So I've spent the whole summer just doing watercolors. So I have brought some watercolors, and for some people, they really have not seen watercolors, so this is really an introduction. So we have some watercolors. I also have, I think, 4 or 5 silkscreen prints, which is a process of creating an edition of original prints.
What is the theme of Prairie Road?
Of Prairie Born?
Prairie Born.
Prairie Born. The theme really is really that of prairie experiences, and it's a collection of paintings that tries to bring in visual form as well as in word form experiences of life on the prairies, perhaps a life that has changed, and for some it's really a memory, and for young people it's something that happened to their parents. So it's really paintings that deal with life on the prairies perhaps 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Do a lot of your own personal experiences play into the paintings?
Oh, they all do. They all do, absolutely. I could not really do a painting that had people in it, people within the landscape doing something that did not in some way stem from my own experiences. So I would say all of them have me, my own childhood as a starting point.
What are some of the different styles that you use? You've mentioned the different paints and perhaps the watercolors. Have you tried any sort of different drawings or styles of such?
Not really, no. I think my style, it's like a handwriting. Your handwriting, it doesn't change from month to month, year to year, and the same is true with painting. It's a handwriting, the way you handle the brush, the way you manipulate it, so it doesn't change. What does change, and probably is evident in this collection of paintings, are the colors. I have, in certainly this series of paintings, perhaps used more brighter colors, certainly more yellows in the sky, so the paintings have moved in that direction. Now I don't know whether that's going to be the palette for my paintings for the next few years or not. I really don't know.
Excellent. As I walked around, I was intrigued by the different titles on each of the paintings. Could you explain to our audience how you come up with these?
Well, the titles for an artist can either be very evident and really don't add to the painting, such as in this case we have the painting 4 boys playing hockey. We call it a hockey game on a farm. Well, we all know it's a hockey game on a farm. So I've taken the titles and I've used the titles to add another dimension to the painting, so that the titles in many cases are a comment or a question. It could be part of the dialogue that is taking place within the composition itself. And the titles have been greeted very favorably by many people. In fact, people will walk through an exhibition and not read a title. And then someplace they stop and they read a title, and then they go back and view the whole exhibition all over again, just now reading the titles.
In your latest book, there are poems by Mr. Bouchard. Is that correct? How was it working with a poet in this case?
It worked quite easily because his experiences were similar to mine, although he grew up in a town in Saskatchewan, and he's a little bit younger than I am. So his experiences varied a bit, but generally they were all impressions of his poem. Based on childhood memories, were similar to my experiences, so that when he presented me with the poem, it was quite easy for me to then find paintings that I had done, as well as to do 4 or 5 specifically for the book, so that we can round it off and have this little package of his poem and my paintings dealing with prairie experiences.
Your last collection for our children, how many paintings are still left for sale out of that collection?
We recently decided to break the series up and start to sell it, so we've sold about 20% of the series, so we have about 40 paintings left.
Out of curiosity, how long would it take to paint a painting such as this one here?
I'll give you an answer that an old art professor gave me when I asked him a question like that. He looked at the painting and he said, well, about 40 years.
With that,
really, the question, I think the answer you're probably looking for in actual time sitting down and painting this painting, just put a bit of detail, about 3 weeks.
Mr. Shostak, with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For Echoes of Ukraine, I'm Mike Helnitsky at the Wallace Gallery, Calgary, downtown.